This is the Carnaby EQ from Cranborne Audio, and this thing is generating EQ curves in a completely different way than other EQs are doing, as far as I know. Let's take a closer look. So Carnaby is a harmonic EQ, which means that the EQ curves that this thing is creating is actually sound that is being generated. Instead of just increasing or decreasing the gain of a specific part of the existing frequency spectrum, this thing actually makes up the audio. It makes up harmonics and is boosting or cutting that instead. Now we're gonna listen to it in a second, but I first want to show you the package. It's a 2-unit high rack mount unit, and on the back we've got the food for the equipment, the power connection. We've got a USB, a network connector. We've got 2 inputs and outputs because this thing is stereo. And we've got an insertion point in between the mid-side encoder and decoder. Really cool. So on the front panel, it's the same on the left and the right channel. So we got our input here. We got our low band, mid band and high band. Also over here. We got a low, mid and high enable and disable button. We got our output gain, of course. We got a high cut, a low cut filter. Also both individually bypassable. We got our insert enable here, which I have hooked up to this compressor just for fun. We can choose between dual mono, stereo, so linked, or mid-side operation. And lastly, we've got our bypass buttons over here. Now, the steely-eyed people might have noticed that this thing is still turned off. And that is because in order to turn the Carnaby on, you first have to wear some protection. So let me quickly get my protection in place here. Right, here we go. And let's turn it on. Seriously, the lights on here are very bright. Now let's run some audio through it. Here's the famous Sandstorm by Darude. Now let's boost some lows. Here you go. You can immediately hear that harmonic stuff here. The low band is also the most tough one, the most saturating one. And it's also saturating a little bit on the mids here, as far as I can see. Over here it's doing something. Not over here. That's weird. Anyway. Now the mid band is actually very smooth. It doesn't saturate that much. Here. Very smooth mid-band. Very smooth, very nice color. Let's go to the highs. And the highs is, well, they saturate, but on a completely different way and level than the lows do. Like that. Let's bypass. Now, one interesting trick I discovered on the Carnaby is that you can make it do more. You can make it saturate more by using the input and the output gain. So let's do that as well. So here we go. Let's boost it a little bit more in the input, so we're getting a higher level within the EQ. And we're compensating that on the output with the output gain. There we go. So now it's really going for it. And what's really interesting now is if we turn these bands to 0 and start to go cutting, you expect that it would cut like a normal EQ. But because we're running such a high level in here, it starts to do weird shit. I don't know if the people from Cranborne actually knew about this, but it's really interesting what you can do with this. Now let's dial in something a bit more moderate here. And what we can now do is use the insert. And the insert is actually after the EQ but before the output gain. And there we go. Can compress a little bit if we want, or maybe we don't want. And of course it has a low and a high filter, cut filter, however you want to call it. Which is a pretty normal, pretty straightforward filter. Now I do have a stereo linked compressor on here, but what you could do with the insert is use a dual mono compressor, so 2 mono compressors, and the insert will be the mid and the side as well. So the decoder is situated after the insert. We're not going to do that today though. So mid side, let's have some fun in mid side. So what I really like to do on mid side with these type of EQs is boost the lows only on the mid band. And there are no vocals or anything in here. Maybe that clap, we can saturate that a little bit here. Like that. But then on the side band, since this is a shelf, I can go a lot lower and widen the highs a little bit with this. And also with the mids, we can do the same trick. This is a bit too much. Something like that. And maybe add a high pass filter, low cut, to the sides. Like that, so we have no low frequency information on our sides. So we're going from boring to actually pretty interesting. Now, I don't know how it is with you, but I'm getting pretty tired of wearing this welding helmet thing. And luckily, there is a second way to control the Carnaby, and that is through their plugin. Now let's insert that and connect it with the unit. And the first thing that will happen is that it will lose all the precious settings that I just made. I was really pissed the first time I had this in a session. But what we can do here, we can restore the hardware state. So now we're back where we were. Now the hardware control is really cool because I can adjust the brightness of my screen and I cannot adjust the brightness of the lights on here. So it's really nice to use the hardware control on the Carnaby, and it works the same as on the front panel. It actually looks the same as on the front panel. The only thing I'm missing are the meters, but honestly the meters weren't that important to me during the time I was testing it. However, there's another trick that a plug-in controlled hardware thing can do, and that is total recall.
Total recall, yeah.
If I have the plugin connected in my session and now switch to a different session, the Carnaby will automatically recall in the same way that my Wes Audio is recalling its settings. And this is a game changer for me. I've been using the Wes Audio equipment a lot on the master bus because of this feature. Sometimes I actually want to use a different EQ, for instance the Empress from GainLab, but I don't want to because it gives a lot more headaches with recalls. Now I still have to do recalls, but the less I need to do them, the cooler it is. And the Carnaby really supports total recall. So that's really cool. Now what I find really cool about the Carnaby is that it's a different take on EQing, where other plugin developers or hardware developers are really focusing on making a cleaner EQ, a better EQ. The Carnaby is actually doing the opposite. It's really a colorful EQ. Honestly, the high band works on a lot of stuff, and subtle settings generally are pretty cool to have. But just do not expect it to sound like a traditional EQ, because that's definitely not gonna happen. Now, one of the things I can't decide on when it comes to the build quality of this thing is the feel of the knobs. On one hand, they feel very nice. All these knobs are stepped. They also sound very durable. Like that. However, I can't decide if this feels high-end or plasticky. I just can't decide it. I don't know. It's so different from other equipment. Yeah, I just don't know. Now, the big question is, would I get one? Now, it costs 2,249 euros at the moment, which is actually a very good price for a high-end rack mount EQ, actually. EQs can get very expensive very quickly. And my answer would be like, yeah, you know, great price. However, at the moment, I'm investing in different things. So I'm really gonna put this one on my list because I really want to have this thing in the future. I think it's a very nice addition to the rest of the analog gear in my studio. As a first analog EQ, I don't know. Depends a bit on what you are expecting from that analog EQ. If you're expecting a lot of warmth and harmonics and everything, then definitely check out the Carnaby. And yeah, that's all that I have to say about the Carnaby. This thing was sent to me by the people from Cranborne Audio after the interview I gave on Superbooth. I'm gonna link that interview in the corner over here. This is a demo unit. It has to be sent back, and the people from Cranborne had no say in this video, and they're not paying me or anything to say certain things or not say certain things or whatever. I try to be as independent as possible, and the way that you can support the independence of this channel is by showing everybody how much we need total recall by wearing a t-shirt like this. You can get this one at ytshop.com. Another way to support the channel is by becoming a channel member. It starts at 99 cents per month, but there are also tiers for early access and exclusive content. I'm going to link the exclusive content over here. And the last way to support me and all YouTube platforms is watching my videos. Link in the instant video over here. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep pushing. And bye-bye.